In this tutorial, we'll review the outline and mark buttons. But first, we need to add an object to the marking field here, so let's add text. We'll change it to GT SCHMIDT, and we'll add a fill to that text as well. Now that we have an object to mark, let's click on the outline button, and we'll show you this nameplate that we have set up. And you can see that there is an outline of a red rectangle on the nameplate. That rectangle represents the edges of the object you're going to mark. So if we were to mark this right now, the leftmost part of the G in GT SCHMIDT would touch the left side of the red rectangle, and the top of the tallest character would touch the top of the rectangle, and so on. So this shows you how big your mark will be, and can be used to help you properly place your part to make sure that your mark is in the right place. Additionally, you can move the object around using the arrow keys while the outline is showing, and you can see as I press the buttons here, you can see that the rectangle is moving around. Now, there is also an option to see an outline of the object instead of a rectangle. To see that, click on the Config button at the bottom of the screen to bring up the Configuration Mark window. Click on the Other tab, and then click on the red outline button. In the red outline window, click Enable Show Contour, then click OK. Click OK again to get out of this configuration window, and then click the outline button again. Now when we look back at the nameplate, we can see that the outline of the characters are there instead of that red rectangle. And just like the rectangle, we can move the text around using the arrow keys to put the text in the right place. And when you're ready to mark, you can click on the Stop button to stop the outline, then click on the Mark button, and the laser will fire and mark according to your mark settings. Lastly, let's look at these two checkboxes next to the Mark button. If continuous is enabled, the laser will mark your part repeatedly until you click Stop. Selected will only mark the objects that are selected. So if we add another object, let's just draw a square here. But we only wanted to mark the text, not this square. We could click on the GT SCHMIDT text to select it, then enable Selected here at the bottom so that only the text would mark. And this option also works with more than one object. So let's add a circle and say we will only want to mark the two shapes here. So we'll select both the circle and the square by holding down the Shift button and then clicking on each shape. And if I were to click the Mark button now, with the selected option enabled, both shapes would mark, while GT SCHMIDT would not. That wraps up this tutorial on the outline and mark buttons. For more tips on using the EasyMark software with your GeoMARK Eco or Eco Plus, be sure to check out our other tutorial videos and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any future laser marking tips.